Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening and welcome to the show where the two of us, basically, the conceit of the show, if you've not seen it before, is that since we can hardly geek anymore, we're hardly comics, and we say that we solve problems, but we don't. So, yeah, it's pretty much been doing the show twice a week since the first lockdown back in March in the UK, and yeah, we've called it Comic Solving Problems because we are none of those things and don't do it.
Yep.
So that's what we do. It's a show of juxtapositions. But we are going to have lots of fun. I think we can say that we've done that. So thank you for joining us. We're going to work on some problems that we've identified win the world and in the news. If you want to send us problems, like struggling to talk at the beginning, you can do that in the chat. You can send us messages via tweet that's on there. Our tweets are on there. You can go to the best place to communicate with us, which is the YouTube channel for Comic Solving Problems. That's the most active chat. That's definitely where all the cool kids hang out on a Thursday at 9 o'clock in the UK. And again, we're not cool kids, but you are, and that's where you want to hang out. So you can send us comments on there. We will look at them during the show. Also, at some point during the show, if you feel so possessed and you would like to contribute to the craft that we are not making here, you can go to our Ko-fi page and you can contribute there. If you think, I buy those guys a drink at the end of this show, brilliant. That'd be incredible because we will live off that money for the next month. And also a big thank you to people who book through Crack Comedy. Some of you actually purchased tickets, so we appreciate that. So again, that was like £6 per person, or £3 you want to contribute throughout the show. If you're thinking, what do I give these guys? Do I give them £100? Sure you can, but that's not really realistic. Let's be honest. So that's what you can do.
Yeah.
Have I covered all the bases there, Steve?
I like it, yeah. I think we're up to date.
There we go. There we go. So let's crack into some problems and let's fix the world.
let's aim high. Already I can tell you I'm not going to achieve that because I aimed to fix the problem with the economy. Because on Tuesday's show we talked about the massive death toll in the UK, given the choice between health and wealth. We know we've not done well in terms of protecting lives. So maybe we could make the economy better because people were saying we're heading towards the worst recession in Europe. I just wanted the global economy to do well, and I thought I could solve it by bringing up this piece of news that Xbox Surge and cloud computing has delivered a boost for Microsoft. That's one example of some good piece of economic news. And it makes sense because people have been working at home, so cloud computing, I imagine, has been doing well. And you can't go out for entertainment, so things like consoles have done well, both of which have helped Microsoft out. And that means that Bill Gates has benefited, and maybe he was behind it after all. No. And as much as I thought that would be like my nice angle to take, I realise people will believe that. There's no point doing those jokes anymore because people are ridiculous. So on Tuesday's show, we talked about the death toll, and then we did a bit where we pointed out that you talk about those numbers straight away. People say, "Oh, it's if you've been found positive in the last month." So we did a bit where we actually took a screenshot of the news that said it was to do with information on death certificates. Made a clip from that, posted it on social media and on TikTok. I've had loads of messages like this one that says it clearly states within 28 days of testing positive. What? How do you not see the thing that you're disagreeing with is on screen right now, Ryan? It says in the video, death certificates. How can you type a message but not be able to read? Do you just get lucky with the keys? How on earth do you do that?
It could be a symptom of never having taken a vaccine.
Maybe, could be. And I'm not even upset with people like that. So it's been a couple of days of loads of like, don't believe the figures, or do you believe everything? And then as soon as, if I made a good point over the last 2 days, someone has always said, well, it's just another example of someone working for the BBC. What? Hey, what? It's been a long while since I've received the memo that tells me what to say. Oops, maybe I shouldn't mention that. But, so I'm not even blaming the people. The conspiracy drinkers, don't mind them at all. And it's not really their fault when you get people like this. Tory MP Sir Desmond Swayne has urged anti-vaxxers to persist with their campaign.
Oh, dear.
Little milk tray man of death that he's got that look going on down there, like a Bond villain. And look, again, I'm pro-vaccine and I'm pro-science, and I love that science gives us vaccines, and now, no smallpox. Yay, look at us. But... and this is more ranty than humorous, I get that. You know, all those people saying like, no, I'm not really sure if I trust what's in the back of the queue then. That's it. Like, oh, maybe the government could do more to convince me. Nope, back of the queue. Nope. And this is the serious point, right? So we are now almost 2 weeks since my dad passed away from COVID. And the reason he passed away is because he didn't get the vaccine. Because there wasn't enough vaccines in time. So when I see a headline of people saying, oh, maybe I don't trust but back of the goddamn queue. Because you don't need to have it then. I don't need to convince you. There are way more people wanting the vaccine than there are doses. We'll deal with you later. Oh, well, maybe I'm not saying I don't want it. Maybe I just want to be convinced. Back of the queue. And we'll wait till you get to the front of the queue. And if you're still a knobhead, back of the queue again. Like the ingratitude of that attitude, which rhymes, didn't expect it to. It's effectively like being in a famine, being given priority access to bread and saying, is this gluten-free? Because I'm not. Back of the queue. Back of the queue. So there's those kind of peoples out there. And I do worry because you think, okay, people are departing from science. Like all the arguments I've had on social media for the last couple of days have been people quoting stuff on YouTube. You think, well, that's not as good. Just because you saw it on a video. We make videos, and for crying out loud, don't trust anything we say.
Well,
no. I mean, given a choice between quoting science and then arguing it with, well, I once saw a bit where Steve on a video said, no, go to the actual source. But you think, it's all right, we'll get through this. People will learn what proper science is in school. No, they won't. They're shut. So, we are just so screwed. And by the way, on that topic of schools not reopening before the 8th of March, I think it's a shame that Odd Bins closed down, because if they'd have stayed open just that little bit longer, I'm guessing the demand for wine will stay quite high at least until the 8th of March. Yeah, a lot of that going on. So, what's the actual situation with what's happening over here with the old COVID? Well, now there's more countries have been added to this red list. If you travel back from a red list country, you have to pay for your own quarantine in a hotel. And I wanted to find out, can I get the quarantine without travelling? Because quite like the idea of a change of scenery and the room service, don't want to risk my life on a plane. So is it possible to do? But at least they're doing that now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For ages, people were saying, we're an island, why aren't we stopping people? Like, we've literally got a moat. We don't have to build one at all. We could have controlled our borders, as people said. And back then, people were saying, well, I mean, wouldn't be good for our economy. I know I'm using the benefit of hindsight here, but how did not closing the borders go in terms of the economy? Have a little check. Not so good, maybe.
Yeah.
And it is unfair because now I've got hindsight, and a lot of ministers have been saying things like, I don't think now is the time to look into how we've been handling the pandemic. And I think what they mean is, I think we need to wait until there is at least one thing that is good that we could use in an argument about how we handled the pandemic. So it'll be a long time until they think it's a good time to analyse what happened. But I like the plan. Maybe it'd be better if even more countries were on the list. But I don't know. You got your red list that you can't travel back from. And one of my favourite things that they've added in is that if you try and leave the UK, you will be questioned at the border as to why you're going. I like that. Because, look, we're already used to stupid questions at airports. Did you pack this bag yourself, sir? Really? You think I've got staff? I've not worked since March. But I like the idea of, trying to leave the country and someone on the check-in desk saying, and what's your reason for leaving the United Kingdom? And we'll all be able to say, oh, it's because that's a country that votes in knobbers like this. And they'll let us straight out. So that's my update. This is one where I knew, like, I was writing it thinking, I ain't going to find any solutions. It very much feels like any solutions I had were buried under the weight of all the problems.
Yeah, and I think you're already going to get us in trouble because now we're going to have the gluten-free people after us.
Yeah.
So we have to say that was just a reference for comedic purposes. We could say nuts because those people, they're never testy. Oh, God, there's no one you can defend these days. But also, I think we should embrace the whole Bill Gates is making money off of this and he's just going to put more chips in us because those are the videos that go viral. I mean, we are very appreciative for the people watching right now. But let's be honest, you're not enough. We need more. And so, those chips. The problem is that damn paperclip keeps poking me.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Because it's trying to inject you.
It's kind of trying to help me. It's like popping out all the time saying, "Rudy, you look like you're struggling to live free."
Well, in that case, you're right. To get extras, let's put up, so the web address is definitely on there, so we can make this the clip, and we'll just do something just for the right wingers with that same screenshot.
Okay.
So I don't know if you noticed that Xbox and cloud computing have made extra profits for Microsoft, and both of those have benefited from people staying at home. So I think you'll find Bill Gates is behind it.
Ooh, I'm not going the wrong way.
I've got to go the other way.
Touch.
There we go.
No, that way. We both go this way. Didn't plan that.
Making that as a clip.
But definitely. I mean, if you or I went to the border to try and leave the country, the question would be, where are you going? You don't have any money to go on holiday.
Yep.
Are you insane? And we can't go work in Europe anymore since we can't do gigs in Europe without a visa. So, good times.
Well,
so, yeah, that was a cheery start to the show.
Yeah, I know. I almost did the second topic first because I thought it would be so angry, but I just got even angry in the car.
You want to get angry.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Solving the problems. Let's look at the chat and see what's in there. Do subscribe to the YouTube. I didn't say that at the very top. As you go through, that's always appreciated. And Martin says another Thursday, another evening for the guys to solve problems.
Hell yeah.
Ironic with that as well.
I'll try and go on comment cam.
And Marcus said, I don't know, nay ideas.
No, I'm sure we'll find some ideas for solving
Oh,
stuff.
you got comment cam going up. Good. I'm going to work on that once I've finished unpacking.
Yeah.
The cam's in there somewhere. Still not.
Martin says, Steve, you're not going to switch to the lumberjack song, are you? I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. What's wrong with the
That
shirt?
is I'm glad that you mentioned it, Martin. That shirt was a bit. Ooh, I thought we were making an effort to dress up. I'm not combing my hair. Exquisite tenderness. It's just this is where I'm at now. This is one haircut in the last 12 months, and I'm sure Steve understands.
State of my back. You should see it. Well, you shouldn't.
Yeah, but it's all I can do. It's pushed back, and then it just kind of.
It suits the boxers, though. To be fair, I think it's quite a look.
Like I look like I live in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. What have we got? What have you got over there, Steve?
Yeah, Exquisite says, are the vaccines vegan? I mean, yes, there'll be some debate. There is debate about whether there's egg proteins used in it, but that's because of allergies. And, just because something can be tested for allergies without it being some conspiracy. But as I say, I need to stop convincing anti-vaxxers to take the vaccine. It's precious. Why should we be letting the anti-vaxxers have it?
Yeah, it's tricky because you want the clicks, but you don't want to get banned.
Yeah. But I still think if you don't like science, that's fine. We'll have that vaccine and we'll take the penicillin as well. Off you go, back of the queue.
Penicillin for me.
I think we are nicely up to date with the messages coming through. Right. So let's go off comment cam. Mr. Eric McElroy, problems.
Yes.
What are you solving?
What do you do with the mayor, Steve?
I don't. What? Hey, what have you heard?
Well, elected officials, as we have noticed over the past year, both in the U.S. and in the U.K., can be a little bit problematic sometimes. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, I've got a good example from America of a problematic mayor in this case. If you can see the headline here. A mayor aims to turn a small town into QAnon USA. Now, I think we know QAnon, the radical conspiracy theory in the U.S. It's got lasers, it's got pedophiles, it's got pizza joints, it's got all the things the kids love. Yeah. Maybe not. But this particular story really struck home with me because it's a town that is local to where I'm from. Oh. So this is the name of the town. This is the welcome sign as you go into it. And actually that sign is pretty much the only thing in the town. You can see the background, that's downtown. And that's one of the residents standing on the sign. But Steve, I wanted to challenge you because I know sometimes you've given me a bit of a hard time for saying names in the UK.
Yeah.
This is a local name in my home state. Would you want to have a stab at that?
That would be Sequim, which I think is a rude phrase. Can you Sequim?
No. What is it? Berkshire? No.
Sequim.
It's not. It's Squim. Squim. Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Is the E graffiti?
I'm just telling you how. What? Don't even talk to me about hidden letters and Berkshire. Berkshire.
I think some pranksters have bought an E.
Oh, it's Squim, Steve.
Can I sell a vowel, please?
Face. Squim.
So it's
now,
Squim. Welcome you. Is that how it's pronounced? Welcomes.
I don't know. Nobody in the town knows how to read. It is definitely backwater. It's one of these towns where basically there's one road going through it. You drive through it to get to where I lived. Now this is the mayor we're going to talk about. We've got to still show. Can identify? Oh, we've gone ahead one. I think there we go. That's the mayor who we're going to talk about here. Now he's the one who believes in the QAnon conspiracy theories, and he's been public about it. Right? He's the little pin he's wearing there is one of their symbols. He's also that cross in the background. That's another conspiracy theory. I never heard of that one. But so this is the mayor. I want you just to identify him because in a second, in the next bit, we're going to go to people calling in because they're having town halls still in America, but because they're in lockdown as well. So they've been doing them via Zoom, and it's well known that this mayor is a conspiracy theorist. And so some of the residents of the town are not all nut jobs, and so they've been calling in to express their concern, and it led to this fantastic call.
I would request that Mayor Armacost denounce QAnon. Alex Jones, who does InfoWars, who is the conspiracy theorist himself, he was able to denounce QAnon. I guess it was too weird for him.
Yep, Steve, that's how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs QAnon is. Even Alex Jones has said, ain't touching that.
Good impression. Good. It's better than your Trump.
Do you want to give us some Alex Jones? Steve likes the Alex Jones.
Yeah, I like it just because I got the same haircut, kind of.
Give us a denouncement of QAnon.
It's a global conspiracy of the leftists, the cellists, and the botanists. But even that is too ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this concerned caller, worried about the mayor, worried about him believing in QAnon, this was his basic request.
So if we could make a promise to finish out this month without killing anyone, that would be great. If the mayor could make a promise of that, we'll do it February when it comes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I mean, that's just the basic request. Wouldn't you love to see that in Prime Minister's Question Times? If Boris Johnson just could promise just not to kill another 100,000 people, could we just make it through the rest of the month? Could we just do that? Could we do that? But then he's got that American politeness to him at the end. He's like, thank you very much. Now, the thing is, if you have that request at a call-in, I mean, how do you respond? I mean, that's a pretty outrageous thing to ask anybody to do. And to bring up even to say, Alex Jones even thinks you're crazy. Please don't kill anyone else. What do you say after that moment? We've got it here.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay. Next caller.
That's the fifth one today, asking the mayor not to kill anyone. Is anybody going to call in to say, could you kill someone?
For balance.
For balance. Okay. Next call. There's just nothing you can say to that, right? Mm. So I thought, you know what, Steve? We could do a favorite feature that we have on the show just quickly because we've talked about QAnon. Well, we haven't actually talked about QAnon that much over the entire series of the show. I thought, you know what, Steve? It's quiz time.
Quiz time.
Still don't have a jingle.
Yeah.
But here we go, Steve. Are you ready for the quiz?
Yeah.
So people can participate this in the chat. If you want to play along, it's going to be true, false. You can post things in whatever chat platform you're watching. Here's the quiz, Steve. These are going to be things about QAnon, the conspiracy theory that's taken over Trump supporters and lots of people throughout America. It's coming to the UK. It's gone all over the world. This is it. First one. Is QAnon so crazy we shouldn't even try and guess because anything we say, they will believe at some point in the near future? True or false?
I want to say true, but that's what they want me to think. Let's say true.
That's right, Steve. And that's the quiz.
Yeah. And also false probably would have been the right answer as well because they've got to keep you guessing.
Exactly the right answer. It's what they wanted you to say.
Yeah. Mark got it right. Chris got it right.
It's a very easy question.
Chris is happy it's a quiz. Yeah.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, people. Just say no. And please don't kill anybody for the month of February.
Please don't kill anybody.
Thank you very much.
A couple of things. I keep the messages coming through. We'll do more comments in a sec. But I just want to say, yes, the mayor is the problem. He believes in the QAnon thing, which just seems like utter rubbish. And like all conspiracies, its logic is created so that the fact that you don't know is meant to be proof of its existence.
It's flawless.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But can we just pay attention to the guy in the bottom right-hand side of the screen?
I would request
Look at his
that
shirts.
Mayor Armacost
That is a damn good shirt.
Have you been to Squam?
Squim.
It's Squim. Joey in the chat, he's from Washington State. He can back us up. Lots of L can Squim, and that's how it's pronounced, isn't it? If he hasn't left. He's there. He's going to tell us that is definitely how it's pronounced. I would never lie to you people.
Get some comment cam on to see what other people are saying about
comment
this. Mark's got the scores. Yep, we all won. We all won a good one there. That's good. What have we got going on here? Brit, no, the Bishop says, where does he start here? I'm allergic to penicillin. That's what they want you to think. Americans are round the bloody twist when it comes to trying to pronounce anything. Squim.
Squim.
We didn't land on
Scrolls
the
off the
moon,
top.
says the Bishop as well. Yep. Didn't Alec Jones sing Walking on the Air? Not quite the same person you're thinking about.
Mark's written a new song. Do you want to try and have a stab at singing that?
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
You need to give me some a Wimbaway kind of a Wimbaway.
Wimbaway, a Wimbaway, a Wimbaway, Wimbaway.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. A swim away, a swim away, a swim away.
Have you been there, Mark? Because that's the town song.
The national anthem. Oh dear. What else we got going on in the comment section?
And it looks like people got truce. People won the quiz as well. The prize is trip to Squim.
Good
Fill some elk.
God, that sounds terrifying.
It's not a town you stop in.
I always thought Eric was Eric, not E. Rich. Yeah, because that extra H means he's been hiding in plain sight. He's a different named person. See, it's all a conspiracy.
Swiss German, okay? Just get over it.
Swiss German. So look, Chris says he was happy about the quiz time. Back on the QAnon. Who was it saying that back of the queue?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, these are extra ones. I literally can't work out where they're even possible to be coming from because somehow they're visible there but not on the same page.
While you're looking, Mark has said, does the town have leisure facilities like a swimming pool?
Very good. Very good.
That's bad. It's a real place. There's people there.
And Brit just says, good evening. I'm finally cool, says Chris, when we call people cool earlier on. Here we go. Chris Curling says the new catchphrase, back of the queue. Yes. Get to the back of the queue. But also you realise while we're talking about this conspiracy, that should be back of the queue and on.
Yep.
That's nice. I like that.
Very good. Well, before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and you can chuck us a drink or two. I saw that Martin some donated to us on Ko-fi, so if anyone else would like to join him, thank you very much for that. And if there's been a few more come through, I haven't been able to see yet, but that does definitely help keep this project going, and it will help me clean my room.
Nice.
Because I got some bold plans for this, guys, but I got to unpack these boxes. And I spent the whole day looking up squim.
Squim. Brit says, if anyone asks, do you want to come swim in the sea? The answer is no. Oh, I don't know what swim
nice
means.
up there. It's on the coast.
Feels wrong. Feels dodgy. Okay, second problem. Keep the messages coming through. It'd be lovely to chuck some money in our pot. Right, second thing. I think it's payback time. Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck that.
Ooh.
Yeah, payback time. Because this is about Plymouth, and we'll get into that in a sec. How do you solve the problem of the Facebook algorithm?
Oh.
This is because Facebook had to apologise after flagging Plymouth Hoe as an offensive term.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're giving me a hard time about squim.
Yeah. So Plymouth Hoe, it's in Dorset, and I understand, right? As a phrase, when you say it, you think it means something like Plymouth Hooker, which, as we all know, is a type of yacht. But it's a small yacht, but the Plymouth Hooker, you can get one for 20 grand. But even Plymouth Hooker is a phrase that makes you think you probably mean like Plymouth Slapper, which, as we all know, is a type of wristband made by the Plymouth company that fits around the wrist. But we know that it's a phrase. When you say Plymouth Slapper, it sounds like you're trying to mean something like Plymouth Tart, which surprisingly is a magazine which is made by the students of Plymouth Art College. But even so, Plymouth Tart sounds like you're trying to say like Plymouth Escort, which is one of a selection of very reasonably priced second-hand cars that you can buy in the area. But We all know what they're trying to mean. They're trying to mean a prostitute who works in the Plymouth area.
Okay.
Now, whilst there are loads of screenshots I could have brought up for this now, I genuinely, while trying to research the previous pictures, found that one prostitute in the Plymouth area has made a LinkedIn page. Vicky, who's a slapper at brothel. Wow. And, I look forward
attractive. That's the kind of look I go for.
I look forward to congratulating her the next time there's a new position, which probably means a very different thing on her page. LinkedIn, KinkedIn, more right. Side note, if that's not actually a website, we should make that website. There is money to be made. Anyway, so, yeah, it's about silly place names. So what I thought I'd do is get you back for Squim and give you a quiz.
Okay.
Given that you're not from these shores, I'm going to show you a selection of what could be rude-sounding place names or just rude phrases I've made up. Is it a place or a Stevie disgrace? So.
Wow. Okay. I think this is the first time you've led a quiz.
It's the first time I've quizzed.
Yes. This is history in the making, folks.
Yeah. Are you ready for the
a very special episode?
The place name quiz?
Gonna crack some knuckles here.
Firstly, Fiddler's Hamlet. Fiddler's Hamlet. Is it a place where you wouldn't let your kids go out and play, or is it something I've made up?
Can it be both of those things?
No.
I mean, there are hamlets here, so that's definitely true. And I have seen fiddlers in the UK, both the kind that play instruments and the ones that work for the BBC.
I've got a letter here. What says? Yeah, we've all seen it.
Steve, there's a reason you don't anymore. Fiddler's Hamlet. That street sign though looks very American.
The street signs are just graphics, so you can't get anything from it. They're all going to look the same.
Oh, well, that's cruel. I'm going to say that's a real place.
Everyone's agreeing no, Mark says false, but you should have gone the same as Chris Boot and Chris Curling. It is a real place just off the MLS.
Should I keep score?
Yeah,
right,
keep score.
Keep one. Got one.
Next up.
Yep.
Arse End.
I mean, considering you got a place called Cockfosters, it seems like Arse End would be appropriate. I know some people I've wanted to send to Arse End over the years.
I think I'm from there, but...
Yep. You definitely have the look.
And the accent.
The accent. You definitely talk out of your arse.
Awesome.
And your end. I'm going to say it's true as well.
False. As far as I could find out, there is no Arse End. Which sounds like an odd way of phrasing it.
I'll give myself a point for it anyway.
Mark got it right, Chris got it right, and the other Chris, we've got Chris Boot and Chris Curling, 2 Chris's on the go. Okay, next question. Question 3. Bitchfield.
Bitchfield. I'm going to look at the comments here and see what happens.
Bitchfield.
See if I
is
can
it a field?
my phone a friend.
By the way, Chris just says Arse End of Nowhere. That's his full title. In the borough of nowhere.
No one's putting it in the comments. Bitchfield. It seems like, that seems like a name that would probably have to come down. At least Cockfosters, you're like, well, it could be a hen, but Bitchfield, you're talking about a dog. I'm going to say, Marcus said it's a dogging site. He believes. I don't know if that's appropriate, Mark. That's a choice that they've made. I'm going to say false.
It's in Lincolnshire. Bitchfield in Lincolnshire. It's true.
Those people. I should have known.
Question 4. Shitterton.
You know what? It should be true.
It's true. There's another one in Dorset. Shitterton.
Yes! All right. 2 for 2.
Then question 5.
Arse Bandy Tree. Arse Bandit, that would definitely be fake. But Arse Bandy sounds like, could have been one of those old names.
Yeah. Say it again, but quicker. Flow it all together.
Arse Bandy. Arse Bandy?
Yeah, and then...
Arse Bandy.
What's the... Don't forget the tree part.
Arse Bandy Tree. Arse Bandy Tree.
Yeah. Arse Bandy Tree.
Arse Bandy Tree. Is that like an alcoholic thing? I don't get it.
Might be a place name.
True.
False.
No! You've got me with all the arses today. Damn it.
Mark said false, but sounds Australian. Yeah. Arse Bandy Tree.
Yeah, I can't do Australian.
Next one. Fingering Hoe. Fingering Hoe.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those places I want to be true, and I do have fond memories of being in a kind of place that felt like that. So I'm going to say true.
It's true. It's another borough in Essex. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
And for those watching from outside the UK, Essex is where deaf fingering was invented.
That's fingering hoe. Exactly.
Fingering hoe.
This is the peak of my comedy career, and it shouldn't be, but I'm enjoying this the most. Right, 2 more left. Question 7.
Okay.
Balls deep.
Oh. I've gotten all the arses wrong. I'm trying to approach this the way they talk things out on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I'd love if we could do phone a friend. Balls deep.
Well, Victoria popped up and she knew about the fingering hoe. In the chat there, she said, true, this is in Essex. What about what was it? Give it to me. What was that sign again? Show me again.
Balls deep.
How about balls deep, Victoria? Help me out here. I'm asking you for help. Chris says false. Mark says false. But there's a Johnny Vegas video that I must see. Okay. I've been on Pornhub a lot during lockdown, but I've not come across that. Literally. Victoria's giving me the silent treatment now. I'm not getting any. I'm going to go with the boys on this one. I'm going to say false.
You are right to say false. It's a great place to be, but it's not a place.
4-3. This is it for me. I could either win this or tie.
And right, it is final one. Upper Rungan.
See, we don't say Rungan in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that is a tricky one. We don't have Rungans, but Upper Rungan.
Upper Rungan.
I'm looking for the people in the chat here. Nobody's posting anything. Upper Rungan. No. Mark says true? No. That would just be Rungan.
You're right to say false. I enjoyed it way too much when I made that up later on. Upper Rungan. There is Upper Dicker down in Sussex.
Wow.
But I don't believe that Upper Rungan is a real place. Well.
In your dreams. Well, there we go. 2 quizzes in one show, folks. That's what you're getting your money for.
Speaking of money, chuck some money in there.
If you like better quality quizzes, feel free to contribute to the Ko-fi link. And thank you for those who has. And thank you for those who bought tickets in advance. That's very much appreciated.
Bet you regret it now.
Yeah. And also, if we're strapped. If you're strapped, just subscribe to the channel. Tell people about the show if you enjoyed it. Or tell them if you didn't. Fuck it. We don't care. Right. Got any other chat there?
Yeah, the bishop says you're wasted on here, Steve. I feel like I should be. That would make this evening go past quicker.
And I just belong here.
I think it was because I think he appreciated some of the fine wordplay in the quiz section, including phrases like arse bandy tree.
All right.
What else we got going on in terms of the messages? We've got the scores coming in.
5 out of 7. I got 5 out of 3. So does that add up to the same amount? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, not bad. Not looking bad at all.
So Mark, you counted one there.
There
were 8. Right?
There were 8 of them. Yeah. And let's have a look. It's next to the 24/7 Vajazzle, says Brit. Upper wrong and false, says Martin. I mean, I've heard that phrase before. Chris says lower dicker as well. That's true. There's upper dicker and lower dicker for balance.
Yep. You can't just go up and not go down.
Yeah. What goes up must come down.
That's the way it works.
Newton's 4th law about wrong-uns.
Tell the wife.
Let's have a look. Any tweets coming in? You can do the Twitter thing. That's on screen as well.
Oh, yeah. Let me check my tweets.
In the comment section, we'll check on some of those as well. But look at this. Struth, it's 34 and we've still got one more topic to be...
All right. We got to crack on. So here we go. Steve.
Yeah.
What do you do... Wait, I read this wrong. Let me just compose myself. I'm just got my dickerage. It's just... What do you do... the way I've written this doesn't make any sense.
Emotional.
Why can rich people do such stupid things? That's what I want to know. That's a problem to solve, Steve. Why can rich people do ridiculously stupid things? We've talked about the fact frequently, probably too much, about Gwyneth Paltrow and her smelly candles. George W. Bush was president of the United States. Now he paints naked puppy dogs Just Ken. And now...
How does he get the dogs naked?
He's a Republican. Now I found out Pierce Brosnan has been doing paintings as well. Did you know this?
No.
Show us the clip here. There we go. Pierce Brosnan is selling 100 signed limited edition screens, silk screens of earplugs he painted. He painted the instructions for putting in an earplug. This is a real thing. He did it. He said he was inspired by Picasso. I think he was. That's not true. He was inspired by the packaging from Boots the Chemist. It's a real thing. So he's selling them now, but he basically did this back in the 90s. We can see a shot of when he originally did this, when he was filming 007, because it just goes to prove that the 90s were truly shit.
Hang on, I remember the 90s, and we didn't have black and white photography. How are they? We had colour then.
He's gone. Well, probably most young people don't realize that. They're like, "Wow, how can you even get a photo on Instagram from back then?" I don't know why the young people are talking in their own voice, but that's just how they talk in my mind. Now I'm turning into Adam Chandler. He looks kind of proud but lost.
Yeah.
I think that's called cocaine. I don't know. I'm saying allegedly, Pierce. If you're watching, please accept my apologies, and please donate one of the pictures to us.
If he's watching, he can't hear a thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Because of the earplugs. Yeah. He described the process he went through of making the paintings in the description to the Instagram post, which we have here. So basically, he was saying that they were filming GoldenEye during the action sequences. There were explosions and gunfire, and he was given a small packet of earplugs, and on the back was an illustration showing how to insert the yellow plug in your ear. So in a homage to the great Roy Lichtenstein, whoever the fuck that is, he created this work of art, which he has now put up for sale. I mean, we all remember the famous Bond quote, Bond, prepare to cover your ears for health and safety reasons. I think that's what the villain said to him.
I imagine that's what Q said. Pay attention, 007. We have these small phone earplugs. What do? They stop you going deaf. Simple.
Huh? What? Now, Steve, I know you're wondering. You can buy these silk screens. What do you think? How much do you think they're going to cost?
Well, I guess the printing alone would cost you like 25 quid. So let's say 25 quid.
Show us the prices, Steve. No! $5,000.
What's fine? I mean, yeah, no wonder there's more left of that one. Like, he sold one, hasn't he, of the tier 1 and tier 2.
Yeah. There's no tier 4 because it's in lockdown.
Wow.
We are in the wrong business, Steve.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we get that in the comment section every week.
I mean, if you would like to see, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, one of those Pierce Brosnan originals hanging up behind me to help make my office look good, the Ko-fi page is there.
Yeah. I'll do a slightly larger than scale drawing of those things that you get in planes, telling you how to put your life jacket on. I'll do one of those if you want to send me $4,000.
We are in the wrong business. Now, I want to bring you back to the whole painting. Let's have a look at that. Here he is holding it. Now, look at the box on the downward right corner. Look how far they're shoving that in the ear.
Yeah, you're never getting that back, are you?
That is, he's gone. It's not safe. He's gone deaf, or maybe he's tone deaf. Is that a pun? I don't know.
It is, especially if you see Mark's comment. After watching Mamma Mia, quite a few people learned how to put earplugs in after hearing him singing.
But I mean, my God, I mean, he's really pushing that in there. Would you pay for that?
No, the only reason it's got any worth is because it's got his name on it. It's as simple as, because look, it is pop art style. I get that. So you get the Liechtenstein thing. It would have been better if he did it in dots, but he didn't. So
he traced it and blew it up. That's all he fucking did. I just don't think that's the right. I mean, if you're going to go with the theme of Bond, and you're going with the theme of, taking packaging as art and raise it up into an art form, I just think remaining in character rather than doing the earplugs, I think this would have been a better basis as inspiration.
Yes.
I mean, that's what Bond should have been putting on. 'Cause there was definitely some banging going on.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's what he did? Condom and earplugs?
This is actually a Brosnan original, and I'm selling it to anyone who gives us. I will. How much should we make that? How much should we start the bidding at? We will give you £1.
Yeah.
There we go. Art. That's our first art critique, I think.
Brit says tampon instructions would make a cultural statement at least. Yeah.
You know what, Britt? You were right. I should have gone with that, but because it was Bond, I just went for the very phallic. But you're right, Britt. The next time we cover this subject, I promise to get those instructions.
Be a good idea. Would it be funny if, when you redraw it, you redraw the applicator as one of those party poppers? Still got the string on it.
I thought that's what they were.
You're right, love. Okay.
Hey, they're tax-free now. I've been buying them up like crazy. £5,000. Is that a bid that you'll pay for me to draw that, Britt?
I think she was more shocked by the ridiculous price of the thing, but we'll take it as a bid. It's like when you're in an auction house and if you accidentally scratch your face, you've bought something. Chris says, I thought I was bad at watching videos of a man in America unblocking drains as a hobby. I should have been painting tampon instructions, says Chris. You should have been. I mean, yeah. Don't know how you made that jump, but
all you need to do is become 007 first. I mean, what's Daniel Craig going to come up with next?
Yeah. Condom picture 4, is it wearing a dicky bow? Is it this one?
It's definitely an old school condom instruction because he hasn't shaved.
Oh, that's true.
These days.
Also,
be like a baby's bottom.
I mean, did they just not have enough space? Because the model is not. If I were dick modeling, I'd have a bigger one than that. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't it be rough if you got recognized for that?
Are you the guy who posed for using a condom?
I've seen this penis before.
You've both gone very Brian Sewell with your artiness, says Martin. He says, I like what you did with the use of negative space, which is the only reason why there's less space used by your tiny penis.
We definitely left that picture up there too long, though. Not last.
Yeah, I'll get banned.
Somebody's flipping through YouTube.
Yeah, maybe take this as an instructional video.
There we go.
Unboxing.
Instructional video, anti-vax video. We're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah. That isn't an earplug. It looks like he's inserted a what's it. It really went far down there as well. You're right.
Is he talking about the condom picture or the other one?
Oh dear.
Okay.
Slightly bigger than a what's. I mean, we're picking on him for having a small dong, but that was, upper dicker, lower dicker. Britt says, I know a 007 joke if you want to hear it more. That is a callback to like a couple of weeks ago. I like that.
That is a callback. Let me read it the way I read it, the original. I know a 007 joke if you want to hear.
And that was it. So good.
I didn't realize the more was part of it. I don't know who I'm talking to now. I'm looking off camera. Anyway.
You need a side camera for like...
Here, but if I turn...
Nice.
How was that?
Very good. That's the kind of acting that people pay for.
I could turn the camera 90 degrees.
Let's not do that. That was fun. Chris says unboxing and bagging up. Yep, people would pay to watch that. That's what he does. And I think we might be up to date. I'm going to Comic Cam as well to make sure we've caught all the...
Martin's got one. I could barely read it though. So have you got that one?
Which one?
Martin has got one. Did you read that one?
You've both gone very Brian Sewell.
No, the Bond one. Bond. I think it says Bond.
Oh, Bond. Q and M Squim. Oh, because they're in the word squim. Q and M.
Ah. There we go.
We need the rest of the cast to spell out.
Sequim. There we go. So we're reaching the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. Is there any other comments that we've missed before we head out into the dark night?
The Bishop says Brosnan ain't been right since he was on the Long Good Friday. I'd like to know what's going on behind them pictures, upper dicker. You see, every time we do a childish show, I enjoy it.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm trying to do all this satire lark.
This is satire, isn't it?
Is it?
Art satire. It's a niche.
Yep.
Niche.
we're up to date with all the messages. I think, other than Mark says it's bigger than Superman's. Are we talking about? Does Superman not have a very big?
It depends on the Superman.
So in that case, comments about the size of his are his actual kryptonite.
Yep, there we go.
That'd get you on it.
Right. Well, we are back on Tuesday nights, and we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at the same time. You're welcome to book via Crack Comedy, or you can come direct here, and if you can contribute, that's helpful. To the Ko-fi link, we've got our goal at the moment that we've got up there is to help us make it through Lockdown 4, because we all know it's coming.
Yeah.
And
Lockdown 4 Miami Beach, or is it
oh, God,
Privates on Patrol or something?
Yeah. But if you can't do that, or even if you do that, please subscribe to the channel. Please tell people about the show. You can go back and watch all our previous shows on the YouTube, and you can follow us on the Twitter, and you can check out my podcast called American Exchange, which is me talking to American politicians, and it's really interesting because I've talked to Mary Trump and what's that, Steve? And mostly you should buy Steve's book, which is absolutely fantastic. That's kind of creepy. Black and white in the 90s. Oh my God, have you lost your mind?
I mean, that's quite a good look, isn't it?
It's almost, yeah. It makes your face look thinner.
The fact that one eye doesn't move, he does. Look, there you go, even thinner. The fact that one eye doesn't move means I could really finally get around to doing a good Columbo.
But if you turn the book slightly, it'll look like your eye's going to the one way or the other.
My wife, she's your biggest fan.
Oh dear. Yep. So we're not losing our minds in lockdown at all.
Oh, I need to sit down. Oh, we are sitting down. Crap.
So anything else to add, Steve?
No, I think, buy whatever you can buy from us. If you've got any spare coins, we will take anything. But spread the word, spread the love, flip in, try and enjoy whatever you can. And Tuesday for some more silly jokes.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.